Berlin Airlift.
Soon, tons of life-sustaining supplies began arriving in Berlin. Coal for industry, flour for bread. Tonnage flown into Berlin increased steadily. Aircraft arrived in Berlin on the average of one plane every 3 minutes. This constant stream of aircraft demanded strict adherence to established procedures and extensive maintenance and logistics support. Air traffic controllers and ground control approach personnel were the unsung heroes of the airlift. Seeing children around the airfield, air crews dropped chocolate and gum by handkerchief parachutes. The Soviet Union officially lifted the blockade on May 12, 1949. Berlin was no longer held hostage. The greatest humanitarian airlift ever attempted was now history.
Start to finish.
When World War II ended, the face of Europe had once again changed. Three years had passed since the fighting ended. There were housing and food shortages. But Germany was rebuilding. Germany was also geographically divided. Troops of the United States, Britain, and France occupied the western portion of the country. The Soviet Union controlled the eastern portion. Berlin, encircled by the Soviet zone, was a divided city.
Hello?
For more than 2 million people living within Berlin, daily necessities were in limited supply. For several months, tensions had been building between the Western and Eastern leadership. The latest issue concerned the creation and control of a post-war currency for Germany. It would be this issue that created gridlock. The Soviet Union, unable to dictate the currency policy, stopped all land, rail, and water access into the city. Berlin was suddenly a city held hostage, isolated, and seemingly inaccessible from the Western zone. However, in 1945, the four powers had established by formal agreement 3 20-mile wide air bridges, or corridors, connecting Berlin to the west. The immediate Allied response? Airlift emergency supplies to Berlin using the established corridors. The United States Air Force, not yet a year old, began moving larger C-54s and experienced personnel from all over the world to Germany. Exacting airlift procedures were developed quickly. For example, within the corridor, aircraft were vertically separated by 500 feet and horizontally by 3 minutes. All aircraft were directed by radio and radar control. Soon, tons of life-sustaining supplies began arriving in Berlin. Coal for industry, flour for bread. Tonnage flown into Berlin increased steadily. plane every 3 minutes. This constant stream of aircraft demanded strict adherence to established procedures and extensive maintenance and logistics support. Air traffic controllers and ground control approach personnel were the unsung heroes of the airlift. Seeing children around here, air crews brought chocolate and gum by hypersick parents. The Soviet Union officially lifted the blockade on May 12, 1941. Berlin was no longer held hostage. The greatest humanitarian airlift ever invented is now over.
Much better. Maintaining the Berlin airlift. Alright. This is the Cold War gallery that they just put in the LED lights. This was so dark even a year ago. So they just did this since we've been here. I'm gonna sit for a sec. I think I got pictures of all the ones here yesterday. I'll probably do some overhead shots over there at the cafe and the other side. That's my favorite plane there, the B-2. Between that and the SR-71. And there's a F-111. Restroom stayed ahead. Got the missile gallery, presidential, global reach, the space and the R&D, and the Cold War's in here. And they didn't get all LED. I got most of them. There's those two there. Got a few that didn't change over.
Wait, what?
Yeah, okay.